Hello, my dear friends. I know you've probably noticed, or maybe not, but I've been absent from February. I'd like to wipe it right off the calendar, but I wanted to explain to you why I haven't been posting. I haven't been sending super chats. I haven't been doing a lot of things. Watching premieres, commenting. And for all of those who I follow and usually comment on, please forgive me. February was a horrible month for me. And I don't know what else to say about the fact that it was horrible. So it took my mind away from a lot of things. But here's what I want to do. I want to give you all a heads up on what happened to me and what could happen to you. And this is what has taken my spirit, taken my mind, taken my ability to cope in a lot of ways. Okay, so here's what happened. I found out that somebody had hacked my checking account and took every cent I had. I can bounce back from that, but what really bothered me was this was an account I had from money that I got from selling my mom's house, my share. My sister got the other share. And I used that for supporting my favorite artists. I used it for becoming Patreons. I used it for buying art. Anyway, I used it for my art love. And so what that did for me was throw me into a depression that I couldn't do what I had been doing. And those of you who know I've been supporting you and buying your art, etc., you know what I'm talking about. It threw me into a really big depression. It put a lot of work, a lot of searching, a lot of trying to figure out what happened, meetings with the bank. Anyway, it was intense. But the other thing I wanted to share with you all, other than watch your bank accounts, make sure you're not hijacked or whatever they do. I mean, it obviously was a hacker, okay, and I'm still trying to get some of it back. But anyway, the other thing is I got hoodwinked by a scammer or whatever you want to call them. The day after I found out about my bank account, I got an email from a gentleman who said he was from Houston, Texas. He gave me his name, showed me a picture. I looked him up on Google, and he seemed to be a reputable person, well off, an architect who had helped build a lot of the Houston buildings. So I thought, this is very cool. So anyway, he told me that his wife had seen some of my art pieces. I assumed it was on YouTube. I didn't ask. My bad. And that he wanted to surprise her for an anniversary. They were going to be moving to, I think it was Peru, with his job, and they had an anniversary coming up, and he wanted to surprise her by giving her some of my art pieces. So he asked me to send him pictures of the one. He said his budget was between, and this really whoa, $1,500 and $3,000. And I thought, oh, this is very cool. Now, mind you, I had never sold any of my pieces. I had never priced any of my pieces. So for a couple days, I scrambled and decided which pieces I wanted. I put a price on it. I put varnish on them, which I hadn't done. Anyway, it took up a lot of my time. But I had them ready. I took pictures of 6. 7, I think. And they were beautiful. They were ready to send. He told me that he wanted the pictures, then he would choose. Okay, so I sent him the pictures. He chose 6 of the 7, which I thought was really cool because one of them was the biggest piece, and I was very excited. So then he sent me an email saying that as soon as he would send me a check for the total amount, which totaled $600. Now, remember, I'd lost everything, so 600 seemed pretty darn good. And to let him know when the check cleared. Okay, good, cool. So I waited, and I got the check. A FedEx envelope. Well, maybe it was priority mail, I think. Anyway, the check was in the envelope. So I decided to do an online deposit. So I did the online deposit. And the bank came back and said it would take 10 days to clear. So I contacted this gentleman, and I told him that as soon as it cleared, I would let him know. And he responded to me and said, okay, that sounds good. Let me know so I can send my buyer, my shipper. He had a shipper who was going to contact me to get the pieces. And the way he described it, it sounded like he had someone local that was going to come and pick them up, because I asked him, how do you want them? How do you want them packed? How do you want them packed up, whatever. And he told me not to bother with the packing. The shipper would just pick them up, and he would get them ready to ship with all of his other belongings going to Puerto Rico. It's not Puerto Rico. I'll remember it when I get through this video. So anyway, okay, fine. That sounded pretty cool. Like, the guy had money, had a shipper, he was doing all this stuff. So anyway, I got a message a couple days later saying, I noticed that you deposited the check, and my shipper needs the money in advance so that he can pick these up. That made me think. I thought there's something not right with this. So I went on Google and I did a search under art buying scam. I think that was what it was. All these things came up. And the first one that came up just made my heart sink. It described the kind of email that these scammers would send. A wife's birthday or anniversary. They're moving. They want these in time for their move. They have a shipper. Everything that these emails were telling me. And I thought, what the heck? So the first thing I did, I had my husband take the check and do a Google search on where the check was drawn from. It turned out it was drawn from a church in Manassas, Virginia. I thought, okay, that's here. Now, mind you, that the scammer, his address came up as No, not the scammer. Oh, okay. The link to the girl to send the Gmails to, okay, about all this transaction, whatever, was from Virginia. Now, I grew up in Virginia, so I knew the areas. And where she had sent the check from was very close to Manassas. So I thought, okay, all right. So, anyway, I got to thinking, okay, the shipper wants money. Wait a minute. So I had Tom, my hog, husband of greatness, I had him Google the place where this check was drawn from. And once he Googled it, I asked him to call them. So he called them. It turns out I was number 4 in that scam. There were 4 checks that had been taken from them, they don't know how, and written to 4 different people in the same scam that I was apparently a part of. The more we talked with the gentleman who was the financial officer at this church, the more I realized that this whole thing was bogus. And the gentleman that asked me, that I was talking with from Manassas, from the church, which was a legal church, everything, look that up too. Anyway, he told me to send him everything that I'd gotten, the texts, everything that I had gotten from this gentleman, emails, you name it. So I did. I forwarded all of them. And he said that I was part of an FBI investigation. Well, that actually made me feel pretty good. So I waited, and he suggested I just wait and see. Oh, the other thing that the website scam thing said, that the email would not have really smooth, clear English. And I didn't notice that because in my mind, I put words in that aren't there. Anyway, shortcut, whatever. And yes, when I looked at it again, it seemed very generic. Not addressing me personally. I don't know, but there were different sides. And if you check the web for scam art purchase emails, you'll see what I'm talking about. I think that was what I put into the search, I think. Anyway, so here I am, and I'm talking to the guy at the church. And so I sent everything I had, and he said, just hang in there and see if you hear from him again, which I did. About, I would say a week later, I get this text that asked me to please respond to his texts, which were all about the shipper needing the money ahead of time. So, okay, I decided not to ignore that. And I typed in, I'll tell you what, I will give the shipper cash when he shows up for the pieces. Otherwise, the deal is off. Well, maybe minutes later, I got a text that said, oh yeah, because the guy in the text said, okay, the guy needs cash, and I'll tell you what, I will discount, or I will increase the money I give you if you will send such and such amount, which like $700, which was absurd, to the shipper. And that's when I said, I'll tell you what, shipper shows up, I'll give him cash, or the deal is off. So then I get a text that says, are you stupid or what? Okay, that pissed me off. So I sent him a text back and I said, "You're the stupid one." And I sent him a link to that email info that I picked up on Google about art scams. Needless to say, I haven't heard anything. But here's the point I'm making, okay? That check that I deposited went through my account. And then it was returned. I would have been totally responsible for the amount of that check, which was $1,700. And that would have been from me. Thank God I got smart or woke up or whatever you want to call it and checked it out and contacted the people where the bank was or where the check was drawn from. And I, went in and talked to my bank and said, here's the deal. Therefore, I was not responsible for that money. But other people might not be so lucky. They might not go through the steps. Or they've already dealt with this and they know it's a scam. Well, you know what? First time for me. What do they say? Fool me once, shame on me. No, fool me once, shame on them. Fool me twice, shame on me. That's all I could think of. And I'm just asking y'all to please be alert. This just was on top of all the other stuff. And I couldn't let it go. I was afraid. I was dealing with all these charges that were made on my debit card and trying to figure those out and what to do to get some of it back. I mean, we're talking over $5,000. No, that's not true. I had $15,000 in that account. So anyway, that's what has put me to a halt. I am going to continue sending videos, and I'm now at a place. We are in March. There are, let's see, 25, 10, about 13 days to my 71st birthday. So I am choosing joy. I am choosing to get past this. I am choosing to enjoy my art, enjoy my friends, enjoy my absolutely incredible, fantastic artist friends. And I am choosing to let it go. I've started over before and I'll start over again. So I just wanted to let you all know that it's been a tough time for me, and I'm back, and I'm going to send you some videos, but more than anything, I wanted to put you all on alert for this kind of stuff. Okay? All right. I really look forward to seeing you again. I look forward to seeing you at my premieres. I am thinking about doing lives on early Monday afternoons so that some of the people in Europe can participate and have a good time with it. So I'll let you know about that. I'll let you know if that happens. And in the meantime, keep your sparkle on. Keep going, keep loving, and keep embracing your art. Bye-bye.